This week on The Rock, we talk to Nolan Wolfe about storytelling in our classic first-person segment, and we talk to Lucy Shannon about winning the regional Poetry Out Loud competition. All this and more on The Rock.
13 strong, we are The Rock. We'll make the show until we drop. We'll bring you news and we won't say lies. Please watch The Rock or we will cry. It's made for students just like you. You're gonna wanna see what we do this week on The Rock. 3, 2, 1, we're live.
Good afternoon, AHS, and welcome back to The Rock. I'm Grace Johnston.
And I'm Jacob Towering. To start, we have a first-person segment to air.
Gabe Burnett has a story on Nolan Wolfe and their interest in storytelling.
Hi, I'm Nolan Wolfe, and I am a writer of stories. I think I started writing because I loved reading so much as a kid, and I saw that I loved the stories that I read, and I thought, hey, I could make something like this, couldn't I? I have more of a preference for fantasy, just because that's like the type of stories I like to read more often. But as I've grown to like realistic fiction more, I've tried branching out and writing more realistic fiction. And honestly, I like that genre a lot because mostly when I read fantasy, there's an aspect of it where you really want to make sure that the reader understands the world very clearly. But with realistic fiction, they already understand the world, so that gives you more of an opportunity for them to grow deeper into the characters right away, which I really like as well. For writers, please write interesting first lines. If you don't write an interesting first line, I'm probably not going to read the book. I think it's probably the single most important line you can write is the first one. Because that is what's going to get the reader hooked. If you have a bad blurb, but you have a really good first line, it doesn't matter. Really good first line can sell anything. My advice for anyone who wants to write is let your writing be your writing. It's fine to try and maybe emulate some authors that you admire, but at the end of the day, it's your writing, so make whatever changes or tweaks to that style to make it yours. It's your story, let it be yours.
That was a wondrous segment.
Wondrous like a starlit sky that encapsulates the beauty of the envious moon.
That was very poetic. Maybe too poetic. What's up with that?
Well, Grace, Lucy Shannon just won the regional Poetry Out Loud competition last weekend, so I wanted to do her justice with my words. Ten Stewart talked to AHS Regional Poetry Out Loud champion and Mr. Backman.
And that means our 2021 Washington State Poetry Out Loud champion is Lucy Shannon from Anacortes High School.
I am the current Northwest Regional Champion, well, one of them, for Poetry Out Loud. And last year, I was the Washington State Champion for Poetry.
Poetry Out Loud is a national program that begins at the classroom level, kind of like the National Spelling Bee does. So we have classroom competitions in English classes typically, and the winner of that competition then goes to the school level, the regional level, the state level, and then hopefully the national level in DC. But at that level, it's very tough. It's kind of like the Olympics, fractions of a second or fractions of a syllable between the winners and the second place and third place competitors.
State is on March 12th. It's interesting because it will be like reciting live over Zoom, where before I've just done pre-recorded videos and then submitted those. So it'll be a fun new experience. Mostly the way that you prepare is just by reciting them over and over again, and then when I get to a line that kind of feels off or feels like it should be more powerful than I'm making it, then I try to think about like, how am I reciting that line? What can I change with my intonation to convey the message more clearly? And you know, what does this mean in the broader context of the poem? Something that I really love about poetry out loud is that as you recite these poems over and over again and you just think about them all the time, because, you know, they're in your brain, they're just always kind of running around in there. And as you just are interacting with them over the course of multiple months, you get such a strong sense of the meaning of the poem, and it just really is, for me, the greatest way to experience a poem and just get so connected to it.
Let's all wish Lucy luck for state. She's showing us how awesome poetry is.
Just like this show, and although it was a short one today, let's get the but it got the job done.
So with that, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to email us at therock@asd103.org. And from our rock to yours,
Have a great day, AHS.